I am sending a prompt in the Codex app inside an isolated virtual machine. Codex is generating the content I requested. The files are being created inside the sandboxed VM environment, and I can also access those files directly from my local MacBook. In this video, let me show you how to work with Codex from an isolated virtual machine environment while still making the generated output files available on your local MacBook. Okay, let's get started. First, let's download the UTM app for macOS. UTM is a virtual machine platform and it is completely free to download and use. Now that UTM has been downloaded, let me install it by dragging it into the Applications folder. You can open it either from the Applications folder or simply search for UTM using Spotlight search. Here is the UTM virtualization platform interface. Now let me quickly create a macOS virtual machine. Click on Virtualize macOS. For the simplicity of this demo, I am keeping all the default configuration options. Let's continue with the default settings. You can always explore and modify these options later if you want. The VM creation process has now started. This step may take some time depending on your internet speed. Once the VM is ready, right-click on it and select Edit. I am renaming this demo VM to SetupStack macOS. One important configuration we need for this demo is file sharing. I am adding a shared local folder from my MacBook into the VM. Inside my local documents folder, I already have a folder named Shared with Codex. I'll share this folder with the virtual machine. Now we are ready to start the VM. If you want to explore or modify additional VM settings, all the options are available here. Just remember that most settings can only be modified when the VM is powered off. For this demo, I will keep everything else simple and use the default configuration. Let's start the VM. This will begin the macOS installation process inside the virtual machine. We now have the installation pop-up asking whether we want to install macOS. I'll continue with the installation. This process may take around 30 minutes depending on your system performance. And now, the virtual macOS machine is ready. Take a look at this. What you are seeing on screen is a completely isolated virtual Mac running inside my actual MacBook. I already completed the basic macOS setup steps, so I am fast forwarding through that part. Now we are logged into our virtual machine. This is a completely isolated operating system environment which is perfect for experimenting with AI tools such as Codex. Next, let's install Codex. Open Safari and search for Codex Desktop Download. Download the macOS Apple Silicon version. Once the installer is downloaded, open it and install Codex. Now let me open the Applications menu and launch Codex for the first time inside the VM. I'll close the other windows to keep things clean and simple. Codex is now asking me to log in. You can log in using the same ChatGPT account you normally use. If you usually sign in to ChatGPT using your Google account, you can use the same method here as well. And now we are successfully logged in. Next, let me show you how to use the shared folder inside our Codex project. Inside the VM, we now have access to a shared folder called My Shared Files. This folder is available both inside the virtual machine and on the host MacBook. Any file stored here will be accessible from both environments. I am now going to use this folder as the project directory inside Codex. Let me open Finder inside the VM. Go to My Shared Files, then select the Shared with Codex folder. Now I'll send a prompt asking Codex to create a 3-page PowerPoint presentation comparing agentic coding tools. Codex will create the required files, scripts, and folders needed to prepare the presentation. Eventually, the final PowerPoint file will appear inside the shared folder, making it instantly accessible both inside the VM and on the host macOS system. One important thing to note is that Codex may download tools, create scripts, or generate temporary files while processing the prompt. In this setup, all of that activity stays safely isolated inside the virtual machine without affecting the host computer. We can already see Codex preparing drafts and generating the required content. When I tried opening the PPTX file locally, my MacBook did not have a PowerPoint compatible application installed. So instead, I opened the file using Google Slides. Now let me show you a few more things about the virtual machine we just created. You can shut down the VM whenever you are done using it. The overall VM size in this demo is around 33 GB. If you want to backup the VM, simply copy the VM file to an external drive or another storage location. If you see a pop-up asking to install command line developer tools, just continue with the installation. These tools are required for Codex to function properly inside macOS. For overall VM management, you can use the UTM interface. You can modify VM settings whenever the machine is powered off. Under the sharing section, you can add or edit additional shared folders between the VM and the host machine. One of the most powerful features in UTM is VM cloning. With just one click, you can create a full copy of your configured virtual machine. This saves a huge amount of time because you do not need to repeat the macOS installation or reinstall applications like Codex again. The cloned VM will start with all the same configurations, installed applications, and settings already available. I hope this video was helpful for you. Please subscribe to the channel. Also, like and share this video with your friends. Thank you for watching.